Welcome back to Invest Global. Today we're doing a deep dive on Strike Finance. Now, we're going to be going over their actual native token, STRK, how you can vote with this token. It's a governance token, as well as earning yield with Strike. And one of the things that I do love about this project, we'll also be talking about their Twitter and white paper as well. But one of the things that I really love is not only their user interface, but the ability to actually earn passive income. So I think a lot of people see the decentralized finance market and either they go, okay, this is too scary for me. 150% APY is crazy. I'm used to maybe 2% APY, something tiny if you're more in the traditional finance market. And then you look at bank accounts and you go, okay, you're earning less than 0.05% at your bank account. So it's less than the rate of inflation, which the rate of inflation is around 2 to 3%. At least those are the numbers they say. I personally think, and a lot of people do as well, that these inflation numbers are a lot lower than they actually are. And then we'll probably see this play out over the next 10 years. You look at commodities, you look at all these different things, and it's like, man, the value of the dollar is just going down consistently. What you're getting, the actual amount of goods and services you can purchase are going down. Most people's purchasing power, even if you have a lot of money, even if you have 7 and 8 figures, your purchasing power, what can you actually purchase? Can you go into a restaurant? Can you take an Uber? You look at taking Uber in the United States and you have to pay $100 for something tiny. I'm here in Batumi, Georgia. Literally, I can go across town somewhere what I would normally pay $100 in the US and it's like 3 lari, which is $1. And so pretty crazy, when you just see all these different things across the world, just kind of on a global landscape where your purchasing power is decreasing. You need to be in something that is compounding your interest. And that is a beautiful thing about money markets. And that's really what Strike is all about. You can see right here, they have an example of them supplying collateral to Strike while still controlling your keys. That's a massive thing that you're not actually giving up the asset to someone else, which you're potentially doing if you're delegating your tokens and some of these other yield farming strategies. But Strike still keeps it in your wallet, and you can still earn these APYs. So you can see here, these are very conservative APYs compared to something like PancakeSwap or a lot of these other DeFi platforms where you're either going to be a liquidity provider, you're going to farm, you're going to stake, whatever it is, and you earn ridiculously high APYs. Well, what you have to understand is these things are not consistent. These things will not be here 5 years from now, right? So it's very important to go, okay, understanding how APYs work in decentralized finance and realizing that the more capital that enters something, the lower the APY. So when you have a large pool of capital, the APY will be a bit more consistent. As more people leave, the APY will increase. So it's dynamic, right? So you can see here around 4.83% with Compound, a great lending protocol. Wrapped BTC about 2.5%, Uniswap 2.2%. So kind of compelling, right? So if you're just holding those tokens in your wallet, why not have them with Strike? Because it's really permissionless. You don't have a lot of these risks that you do with other projects. And that's why I like what Strike is doing. So access Strike through a friendly user interface. This is something that is very important with any project that I look at as, okay, what is the mass adoption inflow? Well, a lot of people are used to using something like Coinbase, used to using something like Robinhood, or they use Facebook, they use Instagram, whatever these kind of more popular applications in the social media world. And then you see the fintech world, and then you go, okay, how can we apply this to crypto? How can we apply this to DeFi? And it's all about the user interface. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the project, but they have a very nice user interface, and they're specifically focused on DeFi. I think it's like Yield App, if I remember correctly, YLD. Let me know in the comments if you remember what I'm talking about, but great project, very undervalued in my opinion. But a lot of these, you have to see it long term, right? So I'm not going to tell you that Strike is going to necessarily blow up and get a crazy market cap. I'm saying, okay, this thing really hasn't popped off, right? So it's just kind of been in this descending wedge. If we look here on the chart, on coin market cap here, and everything we talk about, by the way, will be linked down below in the description, so you can check out all those links. But just been moving sideways. And I averaged in a little bit back here, I remember on Strike, not a ton, but I was just curious. For me, it's like, it doesn't matter the amount of capital you're necessarily putting in, but I get a lot more curious about what a project's doing. I follow them on Twitter. I actually follow along with what are the updates when I have some money invested. And even if it's not a ton of money, right? Even if it's just like, okay, to learn about this, it's like a magnet, right? So if you have no money, this magnet's here, not here, and you're just sitting here. But once you have a little bit of money in, then you are at least, okay, curious about what's going on. I think curiosity factor is very important in investing in a lot of different things. So you can see here, Strike Finance, at Strike Finance. They do a lot of updates. They do these like community calls and different things like that, which is very awesome. You can also follow us at investglobal_IO. But back here, I did want to mention some of these things. We talked about the user interface, how a lot of these things can be powerful for user adoptions, for bringing people in, because a lot of people don't know how to use a Web3 wallet, right? So all you have to do with this, very simple. MetaMask is very easy to set up. There's so many tutorials on it. But the problem is some people can learn. Yes, they can learn MetaMask. They understand how to log in. Like once you have your private key set up, once you have your mnemonic written down offline, you have some assets in there. You understand how to exchange between. Then when you go to use something like this, it's very, very simple. It's very, very pleasing to the eye, aesthetically pleasing. Which I know that's not something that you value something on, but to me in this market, what do people value? It's small things, right? So why do people use Facebook? It's frictionless, right? Like they already have their things set up with Facebook. Maybe they log in different things with Facebook. Maybe they contact friends there, right? So when you have people using this hub every single day, it's all about the user interface, in my opinion. Yes, you have to have the fundamentals there. Yes, you have to have the tokenomics and the crypto space there, and all these different factors. But one of the biggest things is the user interface. So don't knock that. Always keep that in mind and understand. Okay, so if you're using, let's say, like right now, Badger DAO or PancakeSwap, look at the user interface and go, okay, is this really proper? Like, can I see all these things correctly? I like what Strike is doing, right? So they just have it very, very simply laid out, very similar to Yield app. Comprehensive developer API and SDK to build your custom applications. You can actually see they're more focused on bringing people in to build versus just saying, hey, this is the best token ever, buy Strike. You can see nothing on here on the main page is telling people to buy Strike, which is what I love long term. Now, if you're just looking for short term gains, yes, maybe you want a project that's marketing the crap out of people. That's not what I like. I look for core infrastructure plays in the blockchain ecosystem, and something that's focused on bringing people in to develop on top of Strike is a very, very powerful in my opinion. So again, you can see this kind of the circle here. So you have Strike, go into a mix between Ethereum and Strike user application, API, Ethereum blockchain, ERC20, that full circle. You can see the solution. So build your own applications by accessing a non-custodial money market with our developers, APIs, and SDKs. This will enable developers to, by the way, Strike team, fix this, put a little space in there, quickly build their own applications tailored to fit the Strike protocol. Now, you can see the available liquidity is around, like 8 million? That's 8 million, right? 8 million. Let me see. Yeah, 8 million, right around $8 million in available liquidity. It's hard when they don't have the commas in there. I'm not gonna lie. USDC coin. You can see there. Swipe the availability there. So that's pretty awesome. You want to see a very liquid market, which this is relatively liquid. Access liquidity on Strike on demand on any asset. So with the Strike protocol decentralized nature, users and developers can access liquidity on demand for their supplied collateral. How does Strike work? Strike enables users and developers to supply digital assets onto the platform to earn from dynamic rates provided by the protocol and use that supplied asset as collateral to borrow other digital assets on the chain. So that is very, very powerful. You can see all those things there. So just to go over here on the Strike white paper, it's very, very simple. They break these things down. I do recommend reading this. Obviously, in each of these videos with any altcoin or really any investment, I always recommend you have to do your own research. I have a video for that linked down below. Every single video I do talking about how to research fundamental, technical, sentimental, and on-chain analysis, all these different things, combining it together, and then you kind of have a research framework going into the market, and it helps a lot of people. So that's kind of like their synthetic assets, right? So S tokens. They talked about yield curve, lots of different things as far as tokenomics goes. Very, very interesting. I do want to talk about this. So their actual tokenomics here. So let's see. So the actual allocation. So spend coins. Okay, yeah, this is what it was. So this means the current circulating count of Strike will be approximately 2,540,000 STRK, representing the fully diluted community and decentralization at its peak. The team's tokens from SpendCoin, representing the remaining balance of the initial 4 billion SPND, will be burned. This means that there will be no team supply. The protocol will be decentralized, and the users will mine the remaining supply until the max supply is reached. This is awesome. Anything where it's focused on bringing more decentralization into the actual tokenomics is very, very powerful. I always talk about going on ETH Explorer if it's an ERC20 token and look at, okay, who are the top wallets holding this? What percentages do they hold? You look at Doge, one person has 25% of it. So any of these can literally crash the market. And it's very important to look at these different things, right? So allocation, distribution dates, you can see all those there. And they have a nice burning protocol, so it is deflationary. That is good to see. I kind of did want to wrap it up with this. The way they explain this abstractly. So I'm going to read through this really quick, and then we'll end things out with the STRK token over on CoinMarketCap. So Strike is an autonomous and decentralized money market that enables variable-based rates for supplying digital assets collaterals to the protocol from borrowing digital assets from the protocol with over-collateralized assets. The tokenization of digital assets on the Strike protocol will unlock liquidity from that asset without having to liquidate and or sell their assets in the market. Money markets allow users to tap into a peer-to-peer marketplace where all interactions are validated against open source smart contracts running on the immutable Ethereum blockchain. The entire Strike protocol is operated by its community with no centralized control or team tokens exercising the power of the protocol's governance. We just talked about that, right? Like the actual teams tokens, how they're basically going to get rid of these over time and burn them. Strike is designed to protect the equilibrium between borrowers and suppliers by allowing liquidators to handle bad vaults and collecting a premium for stabilizing the protocol. Strike users are in control by interacting with the STRK utility token to govern and operate the platform with consensus. So very important things to understand here with Strike. Lastly, here on CoinMarketCap, STRK rank 192 on about 2,000 watch lists. So not that in the public eye. It's always important to look at those things for sentimental analysis. All their links are going to be here. Make sure you're on the official links, right? So $41 at the time of recording this, right around 4%, down on the daily. Volume is pretty low, up about 50%, but still, that means volume yesterday was about what, 500 million? Not that high. I like to see things at least above a million. If I'm going to trade them, I like them above 10 million. Market cap 120 million. Circulating to max supply. So what, 2,907,000 tokens are out there, out of the max supply of around 6.5 million. Like I said, we've seen some highs here, but really the highest it's gone is up around $70. And so that isn't even a 2x from here. I really think, this is something we're just been consolidating sideways. When we see a pop in the market, I think Strike will do incredibly well. This is something that's clearly uncorrelated from a lot of different assets, so that is good to see. So that's basically all for this video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Join the Telegram group, and we can continue the discussion there. Again, follow Strike on Twitter at Strike Finance. Follow us at InvestGlobal_IO. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to stay up to date. So just to recap, leave me a comment down below if you have any questions, any comments, any constructive criticism. I'm always looking to iterate and improve on any video that I do. If you have any altcoin that you would like me to cover, any investment sector, any real estate market, whatever it is you want me to cover, I'd be happy to do that. So that's all for this one. If you enjoyed it, again, like, subscribe button, all Invest Global, and until next time.